I look like a mess. I feel like a mess, but, you know, what else is new? Hello again. Didn't have internet the other day, and then my husband was working from home, and I kind of had a tummy ache yesterday, so I was just not feeling it. I know I had a lot of feelings that I wanted to share, and I forgot a lot of them, but like, it's just a wild thing to know how different your life is now. Like, I used to work as a store manager in different stores and malls all over the country, actually. And I worked many, many, many hours a week, 45 minimum. And it's just wild how I can go from like working that much and making good money to not only burning myself out really bad to where I almost took myself off the mortal plane, but then I get COVID. So I got COVID while I was still in the mall as a store manager. And of course it was like right after my company took away the like, we'll pay you for a week off thing, of course. But then I got it a second time when I was working part-time at a different store at a mall close to my house, and my body has literally not been the same ever since. The chronic pain, aside from like the knee and the back pain, which comes from surgeries, but like chronic pain everywhere, just the fatigue. I mean, I had migraines. I've had migraines since my 20s, but they got so much worse when I fell working in retail and hit my head and hurt my back because I got a concussion. And, you know, the migraines have only gotten worse. I've had 10 within the last like 2.5 weeks, which is a lot for me. And I tell you, they're debilitating. And I still have to be a mom while managing a migraine. I had an appointment with my neurologist on the 1st of May, but I found out yesterday my surgery that I have to have is April 30th, which is the day before, and there's no way I'm going to want to drive all the way from where I live to where my appointment is, because it's like a 40-minute drive with my butthole hurting. So I pushed it back by 3 weeks, which sucks because I've been waiting since March for this appointment. But not gonna just not have the surgery, you know? Like, it's something that needs to be done. It'll make my quality of life a little bit better. I don't know. I just have a lot of feelings, and I just never expected my life to be like this. I mean, shoot, I even went to massage therapy school and didn't know that, like, even that would be a struggle for me. Like with my migraines, and it's so obviously, like, chronic migraine is a dynamic disability, because there are some days where I feel okay, good, and then there are days where I feel awful. And you know, it's a very vast difference from feeling good to feeling awful. And you know, I've always worried about going to work for someone else as a disabled person, because you know, I might not be able to hold up my end of the bargain of being able to work when I'm needed. And from my years in retail, I work for companies that literally were like, you can miss 6 days of work, excused or unexcused. You can miss 6 days of work within a 6-month period. And on the 6th day that you call out, you're terminated. You're fired. And I remember asking, because like when I started working part-time after my burnout, I remember saying, like, what if I have a disability because of my migraines? And they were like, you're still held to the same standard of able-bodied people. So you have to show up for your shifts or run the risk of not working here if you have to call out. And I was like, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Like, how can a country run when a lot of people are disabled, but the country is not made for people who are disabled? And I talked about this last time as far as like accessibility goes, just from a physical standpoint, but like from a, I guess still physical standpoint, but you know, if people have dynamic disabilities and they can't work, like how are people making money? Because not everybody qualifies for disability payments, and even if they did, like it's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. And I don't know how people survive. I just don't know how anyone's surviving right now, especially given the state of the economy in the world. But you know, I think people always forget that they are more likely to become disabled or chronically ill than a chronically ill person or disabled person is to going back to normal. And I can't help but kind of blame myself for overworking myself to the point of burnout, because I feel like that also kind of made my body fall apart. But then after I got COVID the second time was when my body really started to fall apart. And after like blood work and testing and stuff and medications, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, which brings its own set of struggles. I don't know. I'm just so stressed out. I'm just so stressed out about money. And I hate it, because I bet if I was a little bit more financially comfortable or could sell a piece of art or two, I'd be feeling a little bit better. But I spend all this time doing art and put it up in my Etsy shop. Nobody buys it. So, is my art bad? I don't know. And this piece that I'm working on now, I had intentions for, but I don't love the color scheme for myself. So I am going to paint it and send it to a friend whose birthday it was this week, who also is a good Midwestern woman who loves corn, because she'll get a kick out of it. So it's not all to waste, but you know, how am I gonna pay bills as a disabled person? I don't know. And everyone's like, oh, well, you could do this, you could do that, you could do this. And it's like, okay, well, I also have to be a mom at the same time. So like, if it would be one thing if I didn't have to be a stay-at-home mom and focus a lot of attention on my son and could do transcription, typing, or virtual assistant work or whatever. But you know, my son takes naps, and when he's not napping, like, I am 100% hands-on with him, and I can't you know, and during nap times, like I use that time to do art to keep myself mentally balanced. Because if I didn't have art to do, if I didn't have something to kind of like keep myself busy and, you know, keep doing a hobby, I would mentally be worse off, for sure. So, those are my thoughts for today. They're pretty much the same as every other day, but same shit, different day. Am I right? Hope you're having a good one. I'll talk to you soon.